Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. My name is Jonathan Ashford, and I'm with the Southwest Oregon Joint Information Center. This is your daily update on Facebook Live. Today we're sitting at Taylor Creek's where we're going to start, sitting at 52,588 acres. That's no change from yesterday's report. However, we do have an increase in containment. We're up to 61%, which is a 3% increase over yesterday. And we've got a total of 579 personnel working on the fire. With that clear weather we had over the fire yesterday, we did have a few little smokes, which is pockets of heat that produce a little bit of smoke. It's one of the things crews look for as they do mop up in patrol operations. With that clear air, it gives them an opportunity to see some of those smokes that haven't popped up or weren't visible over the last few days, so we can get those wrapped up and make sure that edge of the fire stays secured. Klondike today is 68,244 acres. That's an increase of just over 1,900 acres. They're still only calling it 15% contained. But over here along this east side that parallels 199 north of Selma, they did add black line on the map, meaning they are considering the eastern edge of Klondike secured. That southeast corner is still active. We had a little bit of a northeast wind yesterday, which helps push that to the southwest. They're continuing fire operations along Babyfoot Road, and the goal right now is to try to hold it at Babyfoot Road west of $8. At this point, we don't know for sure if that'll be successful, but so far it has not crossed that point, and all the growth that we're having down there is continuing more to the west, which will hopefully burn it into the Chetco Bar scar from last year, which would be a good thing for us to do because that would get it contained hopefully on both sides in the near future. We still have a lot of personnel working on that end of the fire, and right now the fire for Klondike is being managed by two teams. We have one team from California that's taken over the west side of the fire. They're focusing more on the wilderness area out towards Agnes, and we still have the Alaska team down here on the southeast side who's focusing on that slop over area where the fire is still growing on the southeast corner. There will be a town meeting, a public meeting tomorrow night in Cave Junction at Illinois Valley High School starting at 6 p.m. That address is 625 East River Street. If you have questions of either team, why they've split into two, or what the operational plan and strategy is with those two teams, there'll be representatives of both teams at the meeting to answer those questions. Moving on up to the Miles Fire. Miles Fire is looking really good right now. We're at 33,204 acres. That's an increase of 270 acres with 35% containment. While we haven't really changed that number, we're getting close on this south end. Crews are in there finishing up mop-up, starting to remove some additional equipment that's not needed anymore on the south end, so hopefully we'll be able to give you a better number on containment with the Miles Fire on the southern edge in the coming days. Up to the north, you've got Columbus. Things are still good up there. 9,841 acres. That's an increase of only 27 acres over yesterday's report. We're still calling it 29% contained, which is no change from yesterday, but we've shown that this west edge is contained, and they're actually going in with crews now, and due to all the heavy equipment that was running around on those roads for quite a while, we want to get in and start doing some repair work so that when we allow the public back into that area, they don't have damaged roads to travel on and use on their daily lives. On the east side of the fire, a little bit of activity. It continues to move into that burn scar very slowly, and on the south end between Miles and Columbus, we've got a little bit of activity. We're still monitoring it. Crews are in there ready to ignite firing operations if needed. But right now, with our western contingency line and the work going on to the east to try to sort of box it in, they're allowing that fire to just kind of hang around in there and do what it needs to do before we need to intervene. Coming on down south, we've got the Hendricks Fire. Hendricks Fire is going to be on our radar for probably a couple more days. It remains at 1,082 acres, which is no change. We've got 90% containment on that with 64 personnel. There's going to be a bit of a change with the Hendricks Fire. Starting tomorrow, there'll be a decrease in the number of personnel on the fire. Reason being is they're planning to finish up mop-up operations and repair work today and allow those resources to move to other places. We're still going to call it 90% contained. Why is that? The 10% that we're not calling contained is in a steep, deep ravine in an area where there's limited fuel, limited access. We've been looking at the fire behavior. It's not a safe place for us to put fire personnel to really put that to bed, but based on those three things, topography, available fuels, and fire behavior, there's no reason to believe that fire down in there that's just kind of creeping around is going to move at all. So we're going to go ahead and move that personnel off the fire with the expectation that there's going to be no change in that 90%, and that little bit of heat that's still down deep in that drainage is going to stay right there until Mother Nature finishes putting it out for us. So it'll go into more of a patrol status tomorrow. There'll still be personnel around keeping an eye on it. They just won't be actively engaged in fire suppression. Coming on down into California, Natchez fire, 19,680. That's no change in the acreage from yesterday. Containment did increase though. We're at 65%, which is an 8% increase from yesterday, with 721 personnel on the fire. We're going to start seeing a lot more mop-up operations down here on the south end than we've had. A lot of that firing project on the south side to protect Happy Camp is completed. They're happy with it right now as a contingency line to keep that fire north and west of Happy Camp. So we're going to start seeing some cleanup operations going on the fire, and things are looking really good there. We will be continuing our daily updates, so please join us tomorrow right here on Facebook Live. Have a good day.